Let's begin with setup. First, players choose their starting vampires from among the 4 vampire cards. Next, place 2 blood cubes on each vampire card. Finally, set up the city area by placing 6 cards face up in between the players. Setup is now complete. Each round begins with an action phase and ends with a feeding phase. During the action phase, each vampire takes its turn in order. Starting with the vampire with the lowest turn order number, each vampire on its turn can spend blood to take 1 card and convert 1 card. The vampire on the right, number 32, has a lower turn order number, so she goes first. She takes a noble card. Now the vampire on the left, number 34, gets to take a turn. That is the end of the first action phase. Now we begin the first feeding phase. To feed, place a noble from your hand to the left of your vampires. Then, place the amount of blood cubes indicated on that noble upon one of your vampires. That's the end of the first round. We now begin the next action phase by replenishing the city area. The vampire on the right, number 32, still has the lowest turn order number, so she goes first again. Now the 34 gets to take a turn. This action phase is now over. Time for the next feeding phase. How to feed. First, set aside any nobles you fed upon last round. Then, place any cards you want to feed to your vampires below it. Then, add the correct number of blood cubes to the vampire you fed it to. Finally, return the cards you set aside to your hand. And begin the next round by refilling the city area. Vampires now take their turns in order. The action phase is now over, and we begin another feeding phase. A new round begins with the players refilling the city area. The player on the right is about to convert one of her nobles into a vampire minion. Remember, each vampire on its turn can take 1 noble card and convert 1 noble card into a vampire. Every round begins by refilling the city area. 6 cards in a 2-player game, 8 in a 3-player. The vampire with the lowest turn order number is the 2, so he gets to take his turn first. The next lowest turn order number is 20, so she goes next. The next lowest turn order number is 26. She takes a card, then she converts a noble from her herd into a vampire. The next lowest turn order is 27. The 27 has the ability to add a card to the city area. The 27 then takes a card from the city. Next is the 32. The 32 takes a card from the city and converts a card into a vampire. Next is the 34. The 34 converts a card from her hand into a vampire. The 34 now uses her special ability to bring a drained herd member back into her hand. Next up is the 36. The 36 decides to pass. Finally, the 41 gets to go. The 41 decides to pass as well. This is the end of the action phase. Players will now feed. The 2 has already gone, so the 20 gets to go next. The 20 converts a card into a vampire. Next up is the 22. The 22 converts a card into a vampire. Next is the 26. The 26 converts a card into a vampire. Next is the 27. She uses her ability to add a card to the city area, but decides not to take or convert anything. Next is the 30, who takes one card from the city area. Next is the 32. The 32 converts another vampire.
Fifteen, 15, 29. Pretty impressive.
25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39.